Fear. It creeps into our minds, whispering doubts, feeding our nightmares. But what happens when we face it? Hello, and welcome back to Spectrum Shorts and Stories.
Subscribe.
Today we will dive into the dilemmas of fear and try to understand it with a story. In a dimly lit alley, a young man named Arjun stood frozen in fear. His greatest fear, being alone in the dark, threatened to overwhelm him. But as he stood there, he realized that fear is often born in the past, a moment, an event, a memory that never truly leaves us. As Arjun walked through the alley, the shadows seemed to grow longer and darker, like skeletal fingers reaching out to snatch him. But he refused to give in. He took a deep breath and stepped forward, his eyes fixed on the darkness ahead. But suddenly, he was transported back to his childhood when he was 7 years old, trapped in a dark storeroom, pounding on the door and crying out for help. The memory was vivid, and the fear that came with it was real. But as he stood there, something shifted inside him. Arjun realized that the fear wasn't real, it was just a memory, a feeling. Then he clenched his fists and looked at the shadow ahead, and they seemed to fade away. The darkness was just darkness, nothing more. With the newfound courage, Arjun walked to the end of the alley, the fear gone. He felt free, like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. The next day, Arjun stood in front of the dark room in his house, the same storeroom that had held him captive as a child. He reached for the doorknob, hesitated for a moment, and then opened the door. He stepped inside. The room was empty. Arjun smiled, victorious. He had faced his fears and he had won. So, what is the moral of the story? The story teaches us that fear only controls us if we let it. When we confront our fears, we realize that they are often just memories or feelings and not reality. By facing our fears, we can reclaim our power and overcome them. This story highlights the psychological aspect of fear and how it can hold us back. It shows that by confronting and understanding our fears, we can overcome them and become stronger. The story also emphasizes the importance of self reflection and facing one's past in order to move forward.